God plays a very funny game. I mean, marriages are definitely made in heaven. God catches completely opposite people and gets them married. And people mostly marriages go through, I mean, if you're in an Indian context, 95% or something, marriages go through well, right? So unless there is physical abuse or something like that, people don't give up on marriages. At least mostly they don't give up. But today people are giving up for mental torture also, which was unheard of, say, even 10 years back. Which is, I'm not getting into good bad, but I'm just saying, why does God always find opposites to, I mean, it's as simple as do you need the AC on 24 or do you need the AC on 26, or right, or somebody on 21 or 26, or should the fan be on, should the fan be off, should the light be on, should the light be off, could be anything, right? Any of these things could be something to argue about. And financially, they could be very different, right? So a boy or a girl brought up in completely different circumstances could behave very differently. For example, this is a case which I know of a brilliant boy who went to IIT and then went to IIM, and a girl found him. He didn't find her, and they got married. The girl's father was mighty impressed with this boy. Obviously he was very young, he was 25, 26, and she was also 25, 26, so there was tremendous pressure, and they got married. And the boy had come from a very humble background, right? He went into IIT largely crowd funded by his family. Father couldn't afford even those fees, even the fees, no coaching classes, no nothing. Of course now he's about 45, 46 years of age. But initially it was quite a shock for him, the way his wife was spending money, because his mother and his sister in all their life wouldn't have spent the kind of money that she was spending on one shoes or two shoes, right? And she had a pair, 7-8 shoes, which was unthinkable for him. He is a guy who lived his life with one shoe. Now he's got 10 shoes, out of which 5 were running shoes. But what I'm trying to say is, such completely people with completely diverse thoughts, God puts them together. Luckily, the girl's father was very mature. He knew this would happen, so he had warned the girl about it and said, look, you have got to spend more carefully with him, because it's not that you're spending my money. Her father was rich, but if you want something, I can gift it to you, but you don't spend your common money. She was also earning well. But huge difference in the way people would think, right? So he would think, oh, we are going in the afternoon, trains won't be crowded, and she would say, I can't walk with these shoes, so I need to take a taxi wherever we are going. So right from there used to be differences. So what I'm trying to say is, God creates different kinds of people and puts them together, and then I'm sure he's sitting up there and watching and having fun. So first person is the first category are the avoiders. The avoiders are the people who say, okay, somebody is taking care of the money. I will always find money when I need it, and I will not bother too much about it. My mother is in that category. Not just she is a big spender, but she would not take any interest in how the money is being managed, etc. She has no clue about mutual funds, bank deposits, nothing. I have told her that whenever you want money, you write a check, the banker will come give you the cash. That's it. She doesn't even go to the ATM to withdraw. I must hasten to add, she's 85. So that's fine. That suits her. She's one of those persons who is an avoider. She never bothered too much about money. My dad also didn't bother too much about money, but he knew that whenever he wanted, he could dip his hand into it. He had equity portfolio which I was managing, all that blah blah blah. But largely, she was the avoider there, and who never bothered about how much money is coming, how much money is going. It never bothered her. Even today, I find there are women like that who don't bother too much, and there are some women who don't take responsibility. Now this is really sad, because the husband has a portfolio which is doing very well. Maybe it is doing very well because the markets are booming, but if she were to contribute, let's say the husband is saving something like 30 lakhs a year, and if she could contribute another 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs to it, then the alpha which they are getting was completely unnecessary for the amount that they could accumulate. So women who have the potential to earn money not working can be very damaging, but you can't really do much. Men can't really do much. A lot of women say, oh, we had to do this for the kid and etc etc. I'm not getting into that. That's a completely different ball game. That's a different for a different video. Then there are spendthrifts. When a guy who is not a big spender marries a girl who is a spendthrift, that creates a lot of stress, because he can't understand why somebody should be wasting so much, right? You have food lying in the fridge and she says, oh, let's throw this out and order something. He just can't believe that this is happening, and so there could be fights here. Again, people reconcile after some time, saying, oh, for 500 rupee food bill or 800 rupee food bill, I'm not putting my marriage at risk, so that's okay. Or for a 800 rupee t-shirt that her husband buys, she says, I can't help it, but he's got so many t-shirts which is not even opened, and etc etc. So those spendthrift, if one is a spendthrift and other is not, there could be some stress. Then of course there are tightwads who will just not spend any money. They believe that if money is spent, it is gone. So all this could perhaps be impact of his parents fighting over money, or her parents fighting over money, and so they're very tight-fisted, which could really cause a problem for the other person, because if the other person is not so tight-fisted, then there could be a problem. Tight-fisted people could also morph into accumulators who believe that money is to be saved, money is to be hoarded, etc etc. They don't feel happy spending. So they are happy seeing their net worth go up, etc., but they are not at all happy spending. So you find all kinds of people living together, then some kind of a compromise is arrived at. You say, okay, on this we will spend, on that we will not spend. Again, priorities. The guy wants to buy a bigger car and the girl wants to buy a bigger house, or both of them want to travel, and then they also want a bigger house. So conflicting goals, right? So this is another problem which happens when if you are one is a spendthrift and one wants a bigger house. I mean, bigger house can also be called a spendthrift, but then priorities, right? So somebody wants to spend 10 lakhs on the 10 lakhs more on the second car, and the wife says, no, let's spend less on the car and keep more money available for buying a bigger house. So again, priorities. So between couples sorting out all this on their own, and even deciding how to help their parents or their siblings, right? If your sibling is in trouble, should you just write out a check, or should you sit and talk with your spouse and say, look, my brother is in trouble and he has asked for money, and should we do this? Does it not make sense to sit and talk with your spouse and do it, rather than suddenly while she is seeing the bank account, she says, oh, this 10 lakhs, what have you done? Oh no, my brother wanted money, and then she's upset about it, and the money which you thought was a loan doesn't come back. So there is stress, right? So don't do that. Sit with your spouse, talk about money, decide how much of school fees is high, how much of school fees is not high, whether you want tennis coaching, skating coaching, right, or Bharatnatyam. Bharatnatyam is not so expensive, you think, but then suddenly you find that's also expensive. So find out how you want to spend, communicate about money, see what kind of a money personality are you. Are you being a tightwad? Ask your children whether you're being tight uncle with tight fist, right? So find out all that and analyze your inner wiring for spending. I'm not even talking about inner wiring for investing. Similarly, you should also do that inner wiring for investing, because your wife may be very happy investing in bank deposits and you may be very happy investing in equity. Check out all that and arrive at your family financial wiring, and then decide on spending, investing, etc. That makes for a better life. Thank you.